This program is a Creative Magic Network and Maura Sweeney collaboration.
Welcome to Maura for You. Maura Sweeney is an author, blogger, and public speaker who always has an eye out for you and your personal happiness. Conventional and offbeat, vintage and modern, Maura weaves clever anecdotes, insightful questions, and personal stories that challenge your mindsets and enable you to live happier from the inside out. Here's Maura with today's thoughts for you.
Do you date yourself based upon the number of candles you had on your last birthday cake, or by the way in which you think? Well, if you're on a path to living more happily from the inside out, I hope you consider some of the thoughts that I came up with this week on the topic of ageism. What exactly is it that makes us age? Well, we can all look at birthdays and years that pass, and we could look at our physical frame from that standpoint and decide, well, we age over the course of time. But what if I suggested to you that aging is also, and maybe even more importantly, a function of our thought life? Ageism as a function of our thought life. There was an old Jewish proverb that I heard several years ago, and it struck me so pointedly that I never forgot it. Listen to this. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The verb thinketh with the ETH ending was an old usage of a meaning that meant to do something over and over and over again, as if by pattern. So I want you to think about that in terms of aging. As a man thinketh repeatedly, so will he be. Let's talk about this in terms of how we view our age in our mind. Every one of us will grow up and develop during a particular era when our life experience helps us see ourselves and view ourselves and the world around us. Over time, if we hold on to those thoughts, they end up crystallizing in our mind. They, in a sense, become who we are. We become defined by the age or the era in which we grew up. And we tend, if we don't pay attention to it, to carry those thoughts on as the calendar moves forth in time. I want to give you a perfect example, I think, of what I experienced as a child, and then I'll flip it and show you what I'm experiencing now as an older adult. Growing up in the 60s, I had a great-grandmother, Grandma Gitz. She was born in the latter part of the 1800s, and you could just imagine what a different world we were living in back then. I would watch Grandma Gitz as an old lady, and clearly I used to see her as an old lady. She would do things like turn on the television set, something she never grew up with, and she'd start talking to the set, and when she disagreed with a program on TV, she would start yelling at it. And I would say, Grandma, they can't hear what you're saying on the other side of the TV. She couldn't hear what I was explaining to her because when she grew up, all she knew is that in the days when TV didn't exist, whenever she saw another person moving and speaking, they could also see her moving and speaking. So she was so crystallized, in a sense, in her time period that she couldn't even pay attention or hear or consider the fact of what I was telling her, that the people on the other side of the TV screen had no idea she was speaking. That's an example of how we can take our childhood experiences, lock them in our heads repeatedly, and then our body looks like it's aging, but really what's happening on another level is that our mind got stuck in a long, long time ago, and we haven't moved from that place. How about an example of today as people get older and they can look backward in time to a younger generation whose early years whose developmental experience has been different from their own, and they too find that they cannot relate. I've heard people in my age bracket and even younger oftentimes criticize this new generation because they were brought up with cell phones and computers and social media, and people will remark about how it's not a good thing because back in their day, if they wanted to go out and play and socialize, they could talk to people face to face. That's very true. That was my experience. But at the same time, I also see the value of the fact that I could have a cell phone and I can call anyone anytime I like. I can text them. I could send them a photograph of where I am and what I'm doing. I could hear from them. We could be on Skype calls. We can enjoy other people's events taking place elsewhere just by looking at things like Facebook. There are many things of the past that are good, but there are also some good things going on today. But a mind that gets caught in a particular age can sometimes refuse to see anything outside that original life experience and therefore almost become paralyzed or petrified as in old wood and unable to move ahead and be flexible enough to see things that are going on in other generations. So today, I hope that you will give some thought. You might be a young person who is caught in your own ageism and can't see any value of people older than yourself. You might be on the chronologically older side of the scale, looking backward at some younger people coming up through the system and finding challenges or being critical of some of what they do. But imagine being the kind of person who can take what they have in their past and the things that they enjoy about their past and keeping those things, and yet look at things that are available today and say, is there anything here that's worthwhile? Anything that will add to my enjoyment of life? And consider some new things. If that's the case, what will that do to your sense of aging? If the proverb I gave to you at the beginning of this podcast means anything, let me repeat it again. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. As he thinketh repeatedly. Well, instead of thinking only upon the past, imagine if you can think of the past, the present, and everything that's taken place right now. Put it all together and just repeatedly say to yourself, is there something good here that I'd like to hold on to? I can assure you, not only will you find yourself more happy, but you might even find yourself a little bit more flexible, more agile, and feeling more youthful in your physical frame as well. That's been my thought today, but before we go, let's listen in and find out what makes someone else happy too.
Hello, my name is Gina Shepro. I'm originally from South Africa, but spent most of my life in the United States, and now I live in Luxembourg. I'm busy raising my two very active, fun boys who are 6 and 8 years old, and I've just had a book produced that I edited called Living in Luxembourg. And what makes me happy, in addition to living in Luxembourg, is my family, the two boys, my husband, and also my very large extended family. What also makes me really happy is traveling the world, seeing new things and meeting people from all over. And what makes my belly happy is wine, cheese, and chocolate. And that's what makes me happy.
For more about Maura, visit her at mauraforyou.com, where you can find videos, blogs, and her book series, The Art of Happiness. Visit mauraforyou.com, where Maura is always for you.
Alrighty, thank you very much, Maura. Thank you very much for another amazing episode. And I hope you guys learned something from it. I just want to say a big thank you for all of you out there for downloading the episode. You know, you're putting time in your self-education, in your self-improvement. And you know what? Congratulations. Not many people do that. Not many people do that. I have a question for you. Are you looking to improve the quality of your life? Are you looking to drastically improve the quality of your life? Well, I am giving away for a limited time my free report how to use the magic of the law of attraction. That's right. In it, you will learn what is the law of attraction. You will learn how to attract. What is the thing? What is the secret? I'm sure you saw the DVD, right? On how to attract health, wealth, and empowering relationships. And you will also learn how not to use the law of attraction and more. Look, it's free of charge. Nothing. It costs you nothing. And it is here for a limited time only. Go to frederickbai.com/purpose. That's Frederick with a C, by like bye-bye.com/purpose. How to use the magic of the law of attraction. This is empowering. This is fun. This is exciting. And it's all about your self-improvement.